Elvis Presley's granddaughter, Keough, is opening up about her plans for Graceland and a promise to her mother.
For over 40 years, the second floor of Graceland, the most iconic mansion in American music history, has remained sealed. No cameras, no tours, no exceptions. But now everything is about to change. Because Elvis Presley's granddaughter, Keough, has finally broken her silence. And what she's revealing? It's not just nostalgic, it's jaw-dropping. Hidden rooms, sealed letters, secret recordings, even a room that still looks exactly as it did the moment Elvis passed. You think you've seen Graceland? You've seen nothing yet, because this isn't about glitter and jumpsuits. It's about what Elvis desperately tried to keep hidden. Graceland wasn't always a legend. Built in 1939 by a Memphis businessman, the mansion was quiet, elegant, and modest by today's standards. Then came 1957. Elvis Presley, just 22, bought the house for privacy, not luxury. But privacy wouldn't last. Over time, Elvis turned Graceland into a mirror of his personality, wild, artistic, mysterious. Rooms like the famous Jungle Room, with green shag carpet on the ceiling, began to appear. But even with all the eccentricity on display, one area remained locked away: the entire second floor. No one, not even top-tier guests or lifelong fans, was allowed to step foot upstairs. And that silence, that mystery, it only deepened the myth of the king. Since August 16, 1977, the day Elvis died, the upstairs has remained exactly as it was. Not preserved like a museum, preserved like a time capsule. The bedroom, the closet, even the bathroom, every detail remains untouched. Even the clock above Elvis's bed is still frozen at the exact time paramedics arrived. The family didn't just block off access. They locked away pain, memory, and emotion in those rooms. And while fans speculated endlessly, only a handful of people have ever seen behind that closed door. Until now, because Keough, Elvis's granddaughter, and now the owner of Graceland, has finally stepped forward to tell the truth. And what she's sharing is far more intimate than any tour ever could be. Riley grew up in and around Graceland. She knew the rules. The second floor was sacred. But after Lisa Marie's death, Riley was thrust into a role she never expected: caretaker of a legacy and a mystery. She began exploring the sealed rooms quietly, respectfully, and what she found was haunting. Elvis's bed, still made with silk sheets, a nightstand topped with a marked-up Bible, pain medication bottles, some still full. And beneath the bed, a box labeled "Do Not Open." Inside were unsent letters, one addressed to Lisa Marie, another to "Whoever finds this after I'm gone." Let that sink in. Elvis knew someone would find these. He left messages not for fame, but for family. Then it got even more personal. Riley describes one room in particular that felt like a portal into Elvis's soul, his private study, lined with dark wooden walls and books on numerology, spirituality, and theology. It wasn't just a place to think, it was a place where Elvis searched for meaning. Among the books were notebooks filled with thoughts, questions, and unfinished lyrics. One entry simply repeated the word "free" over and over. Other pages looked like prayers. Some were messy, erratic, but all of them were raw. This wasn't the voice of a superstar. It was the voice of a man quietly falling apart while the world cheered his name. But the biggest surprise? A room no one knew existed. Riley calls it the quiet room. Tucked away at the end of the hallway, it was a meditation space, cushions on the floor, dim lighting, and an old sound machine gently humming in the background. No tourists, no cameras, no stories. Until now, it was completely unmentioned in any Graceland documentation. To Riley, it was the most honest part of who Elvis was, a man desperate for peace in a world that wouldn't leave him alone. Then things got even weirder. For decades, fans have claimed that Elvis never died, that he faked his passing and escaped Graceland through a hidden tunnel beneath the estate. It sounds absurd until you realize how little is known about his final days. Elvis had become increasingly paranoid. He stopped performing, he rarely left the upstairs rooms, and rumors swirled that a tunnel stretched from the house to the woods beyond. One journalist in 1987 claimed to find a hidden entryway. Another fan claimed to photograph Elvis at a Burger King. The stories multiplied. But Riley, she shuts them down hard. She confirms that Elvis died upstairs, that nothing has changed since that day, not even the towels. But the mystery? That's still very much alive. One of the most tantalizing rumors? That Elvis recorded secret music in his final months, and that those recordings are still locked away upstairs. We know he recorded some tracks in the jungle room in 1976, songs like Way Down and Moody Blue. Some were raw, some experimental, and some never released. Bootleg tapes have surfaced for years, many fake, but some suspiciously convincing. Riley hasn't directly confirmed the existence of unreleased music, but she admits that many personal tapes, documents, and items in Elvis's study still haven't been digitally archived. Could those lost songs be sitting, unlabeled, just feet from where he died? It's possible, and the silence surrounding it only adds to the suspense. Then comes another twist in the Presley story, the possibility that Elvis had other children. Over the years, more than a dozen people have claimed to be his biological heir, some with photos, some with hair samples. One even tried to get a court order to exhume Elvis's body for DNA. None succeeded. The Presley family has remained silent, Riley included. Is that to avoid fueling false rumors? Or is there something the public isn't meant to know? For now, Riley holds the keys, and she said little. But when she speaks, the world listens. After Lisa Marie's death in 2023, Riley inherited more than property. She inherited an empire, and she takes it seriously. She oversees exhibits, works with archivists, even partners with universities to preserve Elvis's story with academic integrity. But she's also drawn a hard line. The upstairs remains closed. No cameras, no tours, no reality shows. Some things, she says, are meant to stay personal. She's not selling a legend. She's protecting a man, and that's what makes her so different. Whether or not the tunnel exists, whether there's music we'll never hear, whether another Presley heir is out there, one thing is certain, the myth of Elvis lives on because of the parts we don't know. And Riley gets that. She says her job isn't to explain Elvis. It's to honor him, to keep Graceland not just as a tourist destination, but as a sanctuary, one where fans can feel connected to the legend, but where the man behind the myth can still have peace. And in that silence, Riley believes, Elvis finally found what he couldn't in life: rest. She understands that preserving mystery is sometimes the only way to preserve truth. Graceland isn't frozen in time, it's pulsing with memory, guarded by love and legacy. And Riley has made it clear, not all doors should be opened just because we have the key. For Riley Keough, this journey is more than preservation, it's transformation. She didn't ask to become the keeper of Elvis Presley's story, but the moment arrived, and she embraced it not with spectacle, but with quiet strength. In every decision she makes, from declining film crews to curating handwritten notes, Riley isn't just protecting the past. She's rewriting how future generations will understand it. To her, Elvis isn't just a voice on vinyl or a figure in pop culture. He's a grandfather, a human being, a man burdened by brilliance. That's why her leadership feels different. She balances the personal with the historical, the emotional with the public. She doesn't glamorize the pain, but she doesn't sanitize it either. And for the millions of fans who never knew Elvis beyond the stage, Riley offers something more profound than memorabilia: perspective. Through her eyes, we don't just see the man, we feel him. The silence upstairs, the books he underlined, the prayers he never finished. Graceland is more than a house. It's a heartbeat frozen in time, a place where fame collided with privacy and where a man lived and died behind locked doors. Riley Keough could have sold the mystery. Instead, she chose to protect it. And in doing so, she's done something Elvis himself never could. She's made peace with both the story and the silence. Because in a world obsessed with access and answers, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is not open the door. In the stillness of those upstairs rooms, Riley found not scandal, but soul. She didn't just inherit a mansion, she inherited a message, a reminder that even legends deserve a place to rest undisturbed.